No, it's bingo. Why is bingo in my background? Go in there and see if you can hear me right quick. Hold on. Take your camera off. Yeah, my camera's off. I don't see anything. Hold on. Hold on. Let me come up. Am I on? Yeah, bingo is the background. Oh, what is going on here? Am I not in it? Oh, I see it. Why is bingo on there? Uh, hey, y'all. So, this your girl, Lisa. And I'm about to do hey, y'all. I'm going to do a little hey, y'all before bingo starts. Y'all know what's been going on since last Sunday. So I got to put my little 2 cents in. I would like to welcome everybody to Hey Y'all, where I give my thoughts, comments, concerns, and may answer a few questions. Can you hear me, baby? I can't tell. Can't tell. If somebody who is listening would please put like a 1 or 2 up in there so I can know people hear me if you're listening so I can adjust accordingly. I'm serious. Oh, I can see the comments. I just can't. I can just say, I didn't know that. That's crazy. All right. So this, hey, y'all, is going to be one that is not necessarily controversial, but hey, Stephanie, but everybody's picking sides. And y'all know I did a I don't know what the hey y'all a real talk about getting off the fence. So in 2022 we picking sides. We're not gonna be on the fence and I am for everybody coming in, team I would have slapped him too. So team Will, team taking up for your wife, and team respecting black women. So that's what team I'm on. So I am not opposed to anybody's opposing view. Everybody doesn't see the world the same. That's the reality. 1,000 people can look at the exact same portrait, movie, image, or action, and you have 1,000 different views on it. So that's just the reality. So I'm not here to say you have to agree with me because we don't have to agree to love each other. That's just the way it is. People don't always agree on things. But that is my particular view. If you have an opposing view, hey, Brenda, if you have an opposing view, that's cool. And we can talk about it. That's how dialogue gets started. That's how you can give me what you think and I can give you what I think. And maybe somewhere we can meet in the middle. We can agree to disagree. So let's start off with this. On Sunday at the Oscars, Chris Rock told a joke. The butt of the joke was Jada Pinkett Smith. Will Smith, Jada's husband, decided he didn't like for his wife to be the brunt of a joke told on worldwide TV. People think it's nationwide. The world sees the Oscars. The world, that was a worldwide stage. That was not a nationwide stage. That was not just America saw that. That was everybody. He did not like the fact that, again, now understand this. This is not the first or the second time Chris, whatever his name was, Rock. Yeah, Chris Rock has been. I couldn't think his name. This is not the first or the second time that Chris Rock has been told to keep somebody's name out of his mouth, and he chose not to do it. Will had enough. Now we don't know what Will had been through, what discussions had been made, what arguments was going on. We don't know what outside external beef maybe him and Chris Rock had. We don't know any of that. All we know is what we saw. We saw a man tell a bad joke that wasn't funny at the expense of a woman who was going through a very public issue with why she was bald. And her husband saw that his wife physically saw the look on her face and decided that he'd had enough. Decided that at this particular moment he'd had enough, and he told Chris Rock enough. And he went up there and smacked him in the face. I was like, what? I think we was in bingo. Were we getting out of bingo or in bingo? One of them, we bingo Sunday, and I saw it. I thought it was a joke. And then I thought maybe it was a publicity stunt for a movie. They had a movie going on. And then I kept looking at it. And I was like, because the smack it wasn't all that hard. Chris Rock didn't even fall down or nothing. He just did a couple of step backs. It hurt his pride more than it hurt his face. So I thought it was fake until I looked over there and somebody played the unedited version, which was Will Smith saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." And he repeated it. I was like, oh, Will is serious. That was seriously serious. Oh. Now I'm going to tell you, I grew up in the time. Did I say hey to Brenda? Hey, Brenda. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, y'all. I grew up in the time of you get it where you spit it. If you sat up there, if you said something about me in front of everybody is where I'm gonna check you. If we was in Walmart and I was doing stuff my mama told me not to do, in front of everybody was where I was gonna get my ass whooped. If you got showed out in class was where the teacher was gonna check you. So the reality of he should have taken him backstage, he should have handled it with his words. If that's how you handle it, fine. Like I said, nobody in this entire world, with the exception of Will Smith, knew what Will Smith was going through at the time when he decided that he was going to get up and take up for his wife on this stage. Okay. So he takes up for her. And everybody has an opinion. Come on now, that's just the reality. If you are even slightly famous, people has an opinion on your life and how you live it and what you do, what you don't do. Everybody has an opinion. My opinion is this. I had no issue with what Will did. That was two adults, two grown men. Chris Rock had been told, or so we heard. He chose to do it. He chose to do what he wanted to do. He chose to, like, you know what, these jokes are much more important than respecting what this man told me. So that's cool. Again, my thing is this. You have to bear the consequences. You have to bear the weight of what you decide to do. You have to cover the ground that you walk on. Don't come out there throwing shade and throwing rocks at people and you as fragile as glass. Don't do that. Because the reality is one day you're going to throw a rock at somebody and it's going to ricochet off and it's going to hit you. And if you're so fragile, you're not going to be able to withstand that. So you shouldn't be doing it. It's anything. It's anything. It's like Will and Jada have had to endure the brunt of people being in their marriage, not just in the fact that Will is an actor and Jada is an actress. Not that. They don't just have to deal with the public persona that they put out to people. They have to deal with people going past that and digging into their personal private lives, things that have nothing to do with the movies they make or the songs they sing. And they have endured that. They have endured each and every time somebody has said something about somebody else. Oh, yeah. Yes, and they put it out there. They do. You have to. The reality is, think about it. Think about how many people become personally invested in the stars that they like. Think about how many people will stand outside in the cold to get concert tickets, stand around the corner to get a movie, to get tickets to a movie. will get up early in the morning. They'd be the first in line to, well, back in the day when they sold CDs that like that. They don't do it now. You just push a button now. But back in the day when they were sold CB, so whatever, CB radio, shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Back in the day when you had to go to a store to purchase things. Back in the day when you had to go to a store and purchase things. Think about all the lines that people would stand in. Think about when a celebrity gets sick or when a celebrity passes away. People are crying and falling out because like a loved one or family member has passed away or gotten sick. Hey, Susie Q. So people become personally invested in these stars. So they feel like because they're so personally invested in these stars that they have to know each and everything. Truthfully, I don't need to know about Will and Jada's marriage because it doesn't affect me. Okay? Because it doesn't affect me. Will and Jada's marriage does not affect whether I like the way they acted in a specific movie or a song that they sang. That doesn't affect me at all. The only time I care, realistically, the only time I care about a celebrity's personal life is if they're doing something to harm others, if they're being predatory, if they're being what's the word? If they're being predatory towards kids and women, men too. Don't just anybody. Other than that, I don't really care about a person's personal life. I don't care about how many girlfriends they got, how many outside children they have. That's none of my business because I don't have to buy them diapers. I don't have to worry about whether or not this person coming home. So, hey, Krista. Hey, y'all. Oh, Susie Q. That's Susie Q. Maybe I messed your name up. I said it so fast. Wasn't it Susie's birthday? Yeah. Oh. She was in Vegas. She didn't tell us what happened yet, so. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. She's not supposed to tell you about Vegas. Is that true? Yes, it is. She's not supposed to tell you about Vegas because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what was I about to say? So yeah, so now everybody has an opinion, and that's cool. Realistically, that's super cool. You having your opinions. That's why y'all are listening to me. So, but here's the thing. It takes a lot to push a person to the point to where they will think about it. Because realistically, let's look at it like this. Will was at a dinner for his job. That's basically what the Oscars is. It's a party for your job. It is the end of the year party for your job. It is where you meet and mingle with all the other people who work with you, and you let your hair down. You give out awards, and it's the end of the year party for celebrities. So it takes a lot. So think about how many of y'all that been at that Christmas party or that end of the year party or that end of the quarter party, and you wanted to choke the shit out of somebody. You wanted to fight somebody you work with. They all up in your face doing stuff that they know they couldn't do if you was at work. But you don't do it. Imagine how much weight was on Will's shoulders for him to come so far out of pocket at his job's end of the year dinner party, whatever, awards party. That was his job. It wasn't like he was it so imagine how fed up and how just enough he had to where he did that on camera in front of everybody. So I looked at it like I looked past what he did because it takes a lot to get a person to the point to where they will show out like that. Even just us normal people. Think about it. How many times we just sat up there and said we wanted to smack the shit out of somebody, or it's on site with somebody. Think about it. And then when we see them, we just decide the day ain't that day. How much is going on with you that you decide the day is that day? And then you decide the day is that day in the most public forum that you can. So I thought about it like that. I wasn't worried about whether or not Will Smith showed out in front of the good white folks, because I don't care nothing about that. Because, like I said, you can get it where you spit it. Chris Rock had no problem. Now let's remember, y'all, Chris Rock did an entire HBO documentary on good hair, on the dynamics and the politics of Black women and their hair and society. He did an entire documentary. And I think he got awarded for that documentary. And people were just praising the documentary. So you know how it feels, how Black women are about their hair. That's number one. Number two, people were talking about, he was meaning that G.I. Jane was strong. And I'm like, no, for everybody who's not old enough to remember when G.I. Jane came out, when people, now I used to have my hair cut really, really short. And in no time, when somebody called me G.I. Jane, were they using it as a term of endearment? Were they using it to tell me how strong and sexy my bald head was? Now, my hair wasn't bald, it was just cut really short. But I've been called that before, and it was always derogatory. People forget that was not, when people used it out of context of the movie, when they were calling women G.I. Janes back in the day, they were talking about women who looked manly, women who had short hair, women who were bald. They weren't talking about somebody they thought was strong and productive. Strong and this, and the third. They weren't talking about that. That's not what they were talking about. And that is how old Jada is. Jada is not these, I don't know the difference in the time, millennial to Gen X. I don't know the difference. But Jada is my age. Jada is 50. So no, it wasn't a term of endearment or how sexy she is bald headed. It was, hold on. Oh yes, that is true. That is true, real Queen Sierra. Hey y'all, hey Mika, hey y'all. Everybody I didn't. Ooh, Chris had insufficient funds. Somebody said, don't write a check your ass can't cash. And Chris had them insufficient funds. My thing is this, everybody is talking about violence isn't the answer. That's a lie. That is the biggest lie in the world. How many times have your kids came home from school and the first thing you said, they keep picking on me? Well, the next time they put their hands on you, beat their ass. Don't let me work, because I know I'd have told Nick that before. I said, never start a fight. Don't ever put your hands on anybody first. But if somebody come pick a fight with you and put their hands on you, beat their ass. And you let me worry about the teacher later on. So please don't sit up here and say violence is not the answer. And the people who are saying violence is not the answer are the very people who now, because y'all know Black Twitter is the devil. Black Twitter is like Columbo and Sherlock Holmes and every detective you could ever find. That is what Black Twitter is. Black Twitter is eating each and every celebrity up. It's talking about violence is not the answer and Will should go to jail and da 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 whoop de whoop. Alec Baldwin, the first person to come out popping off his mouth, Alec Baldwin come out talking about how Will should go to jail and this. But you just got through killing somebody on the set of your movie. Oh, that's cool. She said Bellagio fountain was beautiful. Me and baby going to Vegas next year. She don't know it yet, but we going. She know it now, but she didn't know it before now. But so I just, I'm sorry. It wasn't that serious to me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I did not see what he did was the most earth shattering, life altering situation, and I'm sorry. Yes, Alec Baldwin shot a extra. I don't know if she was an extra or a a PA assistant on the last movie he was on, talking about the gun discharged improperly or something that happened with the gun. And he, first of all you got to do, Alec Baldwin was fighting paparazzi not too long ago, but violence isn't the answer. Jim Carrey came out talking about it, but Jim Carrey assaulted Alicia Silverstone when he was in his 40s and she was 19 at the VMAs. Everybody want to come out here talking about like their sweetness and light, but you can't throw stones if your house is made out of glass. And they ain't even made out the good glass like they put on the windshields and shit. They made out little raggedy glass. As soon as you touch it, it fall apart. You cannot be throwing stones when you got that thin glass house. They're trying to make it seem like Will was up there throwing up gang signs and shooting the Uzi in the crowd. He nicely, slowly walked up there. He didn't punch him. He smacked him and went and sat down. He was very controlled with it. He didn't go on a smacking spree. He wasn't smacking everybody as he went around. He wasn't cussing at nobody. He was pissed off with one person, and that is the person he discussed it with, and that is the person he handled it with, and he went and sat down. He apologized to him, but at the end of the day, here's my problem. Here's what my problem is with that. Chris Rock and others like him, they're comedians. And I'm not going to say comedians will tell you in a minute, it's just jokes. The first thing somebody says to you, but see, let me tell you why I have issue with that. Because the first time somebody starts talking about, everybody in the chat, think about when somebody made a joke about somebody being fat, but didn't see your fat ass standing over there in the crowd. And they was like, that shit ain't funny, but it's just a joke. I ain't talking about you. Or somebody was talking about, or how black or white people make insensitive jokes in mixed company, and then the first thing they say is just jokes. Or you make a joke about domestic violence, but it's just a joke. Or you make a joke about infidelity, it's just a joke. You see what I'm saying? You can't keep saying shit is just a joke, assuming that because you say it's just a joke means automatically somebody's feelings not hurt. Automatically you didn't hurt somebody. And you're doing it for that factor. Nobody is telling fucked up jokes just because they jokes. There are hundreds of comedians out there that do not stoop down to messed up jokes. They'll tell a joke about themselves before they go out there and tell a joke that might hurt somebody else's feelings. So please don't tell me it's just a joke. And if you gonna say the joke, say the joke. Don't sit back your shit up. Say, I said the joke, it was what it was. If you didn't find it funny, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, somebody is gonna, if you are consistently do stuff to hurt somebody's feelings, even if that's a part of your job, one day you're gonna get somebody that is not just gonna take that shit lying down. And he did. Hey, Lonnie, here's the thing. He did. And again, in my humble opinion, see, I'm of two minds. I'm like, I was more thinking, you probably shouldn't have did that, Will, for his career, not for Chris's. Because think about it, y'all. I ain't trying to be funny. Chris ain't humiliated. Chris is making, do y'all, Chris, he was humiliated for the time that it was going on. Chris, all his shows are sold out. He's not making no big deal out of it. You know who's making a big deal out of it? Everybody else. Chris Rock and Will Smith are not making a big deal out of it. Chris is going on his apology. Will Smith is going on his I apologize to everybody tour. And Chris is going on his I'm a bigger man tour. So I'm going to let that shit slide. Chris is taking the high road tour. And Chris is taking and Will is taking the apology tour. The only people who are having issue with it is the public. That's it. Everybody who's talking about it is the public. It's not Chris and Will. It's Joe Q public. Joan Q Public. It's us. We the only one keeping that shit going. If every influencer, celebrity talk show, YouTuber would stop talking about it today, tomorrow they will find something else to talk about because it's not world shattering and earth moving. We're the ones keeping it going. We're the ones throwing our two cents into it. Now, I will say this: sometimes an action can cause a bigger conversation. But are we having a conversation to see what could be done different or better the next time? Or are we just finding a way to talk about somebody and air our opinions about the person himself? Do we dislike Chris? Do we dislike Will? Susie, now I could be wrong. Chris Rock is around my age. And Chris Rock has been in Hollywood for over 30 years. Both of them have. Chris Rock is not processing this. Chris Rock is letting the court of public opinion be on his side so that he can come out and say, it's okay, I'm all right, we have discussed it. Trust me, that's what's going to happen. He's not going to come out traumatized. He's not going to come out any of that stuff. He's going to say, I've talked about it, we've discussed it, and we've decided to move on past it. Because right now, he can make himself look good. Now, I personally don't find Chris Rock funny. Never have. I'm not a fan of his. I don't dislike him. I don't follow any celebrity enough to know what they do. A lot of the stuff that we're finding out about is because of the smack heard around the world. I don't really follow any celebrity enough, even the ones I like, to know what they do. Jill Scott is my baby mama, and I couldn't tell you what the hell she do. I don't know. I know she got a son. I know she can sing, and I know she fine as hell. That's all I know. I couldn't tell you anything. I don't like Chris Rock's comedy. Never have. It's a lot of comedians I don't find funny that people do find funny. I've never thought Chris was funny. Um, I have always found it a little ass itchy when comedians pick on people constantly as a part of their comedy. I've never I don't like the roasty things. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know why. I'm uncomfortable even if they find it funny. Even when you look at a roast, like when people that's the whole job to go in there and sit up there and talk bad about the person who's the subject of the situation. But I even find roast uncomfortable because I know you never know what particular statement or what particular comment could hurt somebody's feelings. And while I am mean as hell, unless I am directed at you, unless you've done something to me to make me want to hurt your feelings, I find it uncomfortable. As much as I laugh, if you fall in front of me, I swear to God, I try not to laugh, but it's not gonna work. Ask baby. She knows that I will ask her if she all right. If she throw the thumbs up, it's over. If you hit that floor, dog, because I will laugh at myself. That being said, that's about it. That's just me. This is hey y'all, and this is just my personal opinion. I ain't got nothing else for it. So hold on, Leilani said something. I can't win because I have an issue with cosmetic surgery being called alopecia. Alopecia is a real issue for people who deal on temporary scars. Now you say that, so nobody has said that. They said she has alopecia and she has an autoimmune disease. But she said she's been losing her hair for a while. Again, I don't need to know why she's losing her hair. This is just again my personal thing. Because I can't speak on, I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't know about these folks, y'all. Tell the truth. All I know, hey, pretty brown eyes. I don't know. But see, my thing is this. I can't say that because if she got the alopecia, if the alopecia wasn't something she went for, anything you got as a side effect or something, you can't help that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at that. If she got the alopecia because of plastic surgery, if she didn't go into the plastic surgery to be bald headed, that means that bald headedness was something she didn't expect, something she hadn't worked in her plans. So to me, it still wouldn't be something I want you to talk about. Because now for Jada to have any hair in any movie, she either got to be the bald headed chick in the movie, or she got to wear some bootleg ass bullshit wig. Hey, I'm fine. Again, I don't know, but here's the thing: if she didn't cut her hair off, if she didn't cut her hair off, literally, I mean, and she lying, unless she lying about the alopecia. I give you that. Unless she's lying about the alopecia or the hair loss in and of itself, that's the only thing that would turn my shit around. But it still wouldn't turn my shit around from what Will did, because regardless of whether or not she lying, if she lying about it, then Chris know the lie. Then if Chris know the lie, then he was picking on somebody who had something. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's still, if you picking on somebody, you may catch the hands of somebody. That's why I said, you get it where you spit it. Don't keep talking shit and expect people to keep taking your ass in the bathroom. I done seen plenty of kids get popped in church in front of the Lord. Didn't get took to the bathroom. Sometimes it's just enough. Sometimes you just done had a whole enough. And again, like I said, I don't know why he did it. I just am not, I'm just not up in arms. I'm just not up in arms about the whole situation. That's all I'm saying. That's my thing. I'm not upset at either one. Yeah, Chris Rock, that's his job. I think if somebody continuously tells you to stop talking about my wife, I think you should heed that. I think you should really, I don't know how many times, zero actually, you could talk about my wife. I don't know how many times you could get up on stage, none, and talk about my wife. I don't know how many times, absolutely positively none, you could get up on stage and talk about my wife. I'm going to tell you the first time. And after the first time, and you want to keep getting up there talking shit, well, getting up there talking shit, guess what? That's where you going to get that shit at. And I ain't nobody. And guess what? If I'd have walked up on stage, I don't say he doesn't joke about somebody. See what y'all getting out into little bitty things and talk about Will Smith joke on people. Didn't nobody tell Chris Rock to stop joking on people? Will Smith told Chris Rock stop talking about his wife. We're talking about specific stuff. We're not talking about we're not talking about absolutely any other situation than three people: Will Smith, Chris Rock, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Will Smith has told Chris Rock since 2016 to stop fucking with his wife, and he continued to fuck with his wife. He just had enough in 2022. Anything after that, anything after that, or before that is irrelevant. All I'm saying is, I'm not talking about, we don't know Will's character. We don't know Jada's character. We don't know Chris's character. Everybody is getting on here like we go to sleep with these people, like we have coffee with these people, like these people come to lunch and dinner and breakfast, and we wait on these people at restaurants, and we wait on them. No, we don't know these folks. The only thing we know is what is what is put out there. We read in magazines, we see on TikTok, Instagram. We don't know these folks. We're talking about one specific incident that happened. We're talking about three people in that one specific incident. And the only reason any of us know about it is because he did it on the Oscar stage. Had he did that, now let me ask y'all a question. And I want y'all to be 100% honest with y'allself. I want y'all to be 100% honest with y'allself. Had Chris Rock and Will Smith did the exact same thing, but on the BET stage, do you think that it would be as out there as it is now? Do you think we would have all this external, um, what's the word I'm looking for? External dialogue that was going on? Yes, Susie Q, you would have taken it as a compliment. But my question is, but I'm telling you that it's not. Taken out of context of the movie, nobody calls a woman G.I. Jane as a compliment. I'm sorry. I'm glad you would have taken it as that. I'm glad that you're enlightened like that. But the reality is, in the day when G.I. Jane first came out and men were calling women G.I. Janes, they were not calling them G.I. Janes because they were badass soldiers. Okay? Just letting you know. That's not how I was portrayed. I've been, like I said, I had short hair and I've been called G.I. Jane on many occasions just because my hair was short and I had a bad attitude. And it was never because somebody was really thought how sexy I was with the short ass hair. Right. The reality is the reason that people are so upset about this is because the stage it happened on, not necessarily because of what happened. And you're right. Will Smith, there was a reporter. Will Smith was going down a reporter line and he stopped to talk to a reporter because Will Smith will stop to talk to the people on the other side of the gate. So he stopped to talk to a reporter, and for some reason, the reporter decided he wanted to try to kiss Will Smith in the mouth, and Will Smith backed up on him and popped him, but he didn't pop him hard. He did like the little finger brush off on the face because the old boy pulled his face back. But yeah, so and nobody heard about that. Nobody said nothing about that. It is where it happened. I don't know whether or not she take it. I mean, she might have took it before, had nobody referred to her, but I doubt she would take it now. And I mean, the reality is that I don't think they would make it now. So in this day and time when people become anyway, what I'm saying is this. It's good to have this dialogue to talk about it. And you have to understand where people are coming from. Right. Again, but nobody said violence isn't the answer. You understand what I'm saying? He had a right in that situation because of the context that it was in, but nobody said violence isn't the answer. Nobody said, well, he just tried to kiss you. You didn't have to do that. Nobody said that. And people just, for some reason, people don't think that words affect people the way hands affect people. Now, if you smack somebody in the mouth, depending upon where you do it, you're right. Chris got a little humiliated because he did it on a worldwide stage. But if you smack somebody in the mouth, after the smack is over with, the pain is gone. And if you really were gonna do whatever they smacked you for again, it don't matter. But now think about this. Now, how many of us used to get spankings back in the day? And we used to hate the spankings that came with words because the words hurt as much as the spanking did. And they spanked you as long as they was talking. People don't think words hurt. People don't think that words have an effect on a person. People think that you can say whatever you want to as long as you don't hit somebody and you haven't done anything really damaging to them. That's not right. That's not right. Words hurt. And you just because somebody is a beautiful star or just somebody because somebody has money, you think they can't get hurt. We don't know. Because let me tell you something, all jokes aside, since this incident has happened, people have been coming for Jada's neck. I mean, it is like all of a sudden, because you didn't hear about Jada Pinkett Smith except for the little entanglement thing with the little boy, but you didn't hear about Jada Pinkett Smith. Nobody was saying anything bad or good about her. But as soon as this happened, people were acting like she was the most hated woman in Hollywood. And I didn't understand why. I didn't understand what she did that was so egregious, that was so abominable, that they come straight for her neck. She should have went up there and smacked him. Why she didn't say anything? Because the first thing y'all would have said if Jada had a went up there and said something to him, or if Jada had a step to him, that's not a woman's place. You got a husband. Why your husband didn't say nothing? Oh, you done made, now they saying she done made Will a punk and I'm like, Lord have mercy. That's why it's hard to have conversations and dialogues because people get personal and people just start to just, I'm like, what did this girl do that she was so hated? That her husband standing up for her caused her to be just this awful person. I just don't understand. Right. The words are worse. I don't understand. It is it I mean it's we have we and when I say we, I mean all of us are making this situation exponentially more than it is, especially since the people that are a part of it are number one, well out of our tax bracket. Number two, very rarely gonna hear any of this shit we saying. Like I said, I don't know what went on with Will Smith and that made him act that way on that stage on that day. I have no idea. I can't sit up there and say that if I had have been in his shoes and I had been going through what he's been going through, I would have acted differently. Since I don't know what he was going through, I can't speak for him. Yes, BSP. It wasn't just about Jada. It was about everything. Understand, nobody just because somebody told a little joke on their wife. No, he didn't just get up there for that. And y'all know it. It's we can dance around it and we can sit up there and add more meaning to this and get all existential on it. At the end of the day, that smack was a culmination of it was a culmination of shit with him between him and Chris Rock. It wasn't just Jada. It was something going on between him and him. And the thing about it is everybody say, well, if you had a problem with it, why didn't you take it backstage? You know why? I guess, and this is just my opinion. I didn't ask Will, so I don't know. But because it didn't happen backstage, he didn't run the joke uh by Will and Jada beforehand. So it didn't happen backstage. Had it happened backstage, you wouldn't have had the smack. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You're giving two rules. Chris Rock can say whatever the fuck he want to, however he want to say it, on a nationwide stage, in front of TV cameras, in front of everybody in the world. But Will Smith got to go in the backstage. Take him in the bathroom and fight him. Take it outside. No, not do it on the Oscar stage. Oh, sweetie, Susie, yes. Yes, the Oscars is filled with people taking a stand. When what's his name? The Godfather. Oh, what's his name? When Don Corleone won the Oscar for Best Actor, I can't think of his name. I think it's Richard Burton. He didn't go accept his Oscar. He sent an Indigenous American woman up there to accept his Oscar and give a speech about what was going on at the time on Native land. Um, yeah, the Oscar stage is filled with people doing things. Now, a lot of the time, it had to do with social issues, but some of that stuff was personal. Some of that stuff was personal. And I want to say that same night that she got up on stage, that was the night that John Wayne had to be held back from going on stage and physically assaulting a woman. So the Oscar stage is not it's not as uptight and staid as you think it is. You stupid one that walking. He did walk like George Jefferson. That's what the hell I was trying to figure out who he was walking like. It was George Jefferson. Um, I don't know whether I condone it or not. I don't know, and all I know is that I don't know if I would have done it, but I don't fault it. I don't understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not mad because he did it. I'm more mad with the fact that he didn't think about the consequences to himself. I'm not mad that he checked Chris Rock. That's what I'm trying to say. I ain't mad he checked Chris Rock. I'm mad that he didn't check Chris Rock in a way in which it wouldn't have came back to bite him later on. That's what I'm mad about. Because they could have done that in a way. But like I said, again, I can't get past the fact that if you can say it, that's why I said you can get it where you spit it. Don't. I'm not. If I don't. Because I'm not worth millions of dollars, and because I'm not a famous actor, me slapping the shit out of somebody on the stage at some little talent show means nothing. Amos tells the truth. BSP, it wasn't that serious to you. You can't take how you feel about a subject and assume that's how somebody else feels about that subject. You have to take that in consideration to what's something you're passionate about. When you think about what the joke was, when you think about the joke that was told, you're thinking about it in this particular situation. You're thinking about it like, um, well, that's not that serious to me. You're correct. If you don't have alopecia, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, if this particular subject is not something that you're familiar with or there's something that afflicts you, no, you wouldn't be that serious about it. I don't have alopecia. I have a lot of hair. But I don't know, but so it wouldn't affect me. The joke wouldn't have affected me the way it affected somebody who sat next to me. And see, it's just not about the she has alopecia. It maybe the general public didn't know as a whole what she had. The reality was there was a woman sitting up there who at one time had a lot of hair, who she just kept it cut short because it's easier coming from somebody with a lot of hair on their head to somebody who doesn't have a choice. When you don't have a choice in the matter, regardless of whether or not it's a hairstyle that somebody that people understand or whatever, or that the people are down with, when you don't have a choice. Yes, it did ruin his big. I was kind of sad about that. I think it took away from the fact that here's the thing. That wasn't Chris Rock's big day. Chris Rock has been the Oscar host for a while now, and Chris Rock is known for telling stuff that people go, I don't know if you should say it that. So it didn't ruin Chris Rock's big day. This wasn't Chris Rock's first rodeo. It did humiliate him on a personal front. So I give y'all that. It ruined the fact that Will won his first Oscar. And he should have taken that in consideration. I wouldn't have taken Chris Rock into consideration at all jokes aside. Whoever I'm going to smack gets no consideration from me. I would have taken myself into consideration. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I would have taken myself into consideration. I would have taken, what if I win the Oscar? What if I get put out? What I would have taken myself into consideration. I ain't take nobody else in consideration. Hey, haven't said. Again, BSP, I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't matter if you don't care about what people think about you. You do get tired of people talking about you. I don't give a shit what nobody think about me. However, I get tired of people talking about me. I would get tired of somebody always. I get tired when people sit up there and call me fat all the time. I know I'm fat. I know that. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't hide it. I just happen to not be on camera today because I didn't feel like combing my hair. But y'all know I will come on this camera. But I get tired. You get tired of that. I get tired of people referring. When we first got on YouTube, I got fucking sick and tired of people referring to my wife and I as abominations because it was two women that were married. You get, regardless of whether or not I don't give a fuck about what people think, you get fucking sick and tired of people pushing their opinions on you all the time, especially when they're not good opinions. There's only so much thick skin you can have before even thick skin gets dry and crusty and it gets tired and it cracks. Everybody is looking at this like they've never had a day where they had an outburst they didn't expect to have, or they just had a day where they said some shit they didn't want to say or did some shit they didn't want to do. But you'd had too much that day. You'd had too much of that person. You'd had too much of them words. You had too much of everything. And people just kept piling on you and thinking you were supposed to stand there. Nobody in the world is Louisa from Encanto. Nobody is her. Nobody can pick up 16 donkeys and throw them around. Nobody is her. At some point, and even she broke. So here's what I'm saying, y'all. I think he should have taken himself into consideration because Nick came in and Nick said the same thing that somebody else said, that I don't think he should have done it. But then he said this is why, because he should have taken himself into consideration. I know Susie Q, but you know what? Let me tell you about people telling you how pretty you are. You hear that. And you look in the mirror and some days you see that. But some days you don't feel that. Some days you look in the mirror and you don't see what everybody else sees. Talk to just about any woman that you feel classically beautiful, and you can just about all of them have had those days where they looked in the mirror and did not see what everybody else said they saw. Yes, she knows she's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful in their own right, realistically. While I might not find you aesthetically pleasing, somebody else does. So everybody, just about everybody, can be beautiful in their own right. But there are days when you just don't feel it. And especially when you got just as many people telling you how ugly you are as you do how pretty you are. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what went on before before Sunday. Um I know the more that it goes on and the longer people talk about it, the more stuff is going to come out. If you look around, you got people on Will's side. I must admit, I'm seeing Will. You got people on Chris' side, and that's cool. You got people that's in the middle. I'm kind of like got a leg over the fence, but the other leg is down on Will's side because the I understand the want to take up for your spouse. Understand the need to make sure that your spouse is okay. I understand all that. And I understand, and I also know that I don't know what I would have done or would have said in the same if I was presented with the same situation. I can't sit up here and tell you that I would have went, "Oh, it's okay. It's just a joke, baby. It's okay. You know, we'll talk about it when we." I don't know that. Well, I know that I wouldn't. Let me tell you that. I know that I wouldn't. I know I probably would have been cussing from the seat. I know that. I know I would have did a whole lot more to shut the fuck up and don't talk about my wife thing. I don't know whether I would have got up and smacked. I'm not always about the physical stuff because I think you can get people back. But then that's me. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have embarrassed him just the same. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have called him out just the same. So I can't fault Will for taking up for his wife. I can fault him for not thinking it through more. I can fault him for that. I can fault him for not having his own back. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not he was right, the court of public opinion is going to vilify him. Everybody's talking about violence is the answer. We live in one of the most violent countries in the world. Everybody's talking about what they would have done. How do you know? Have you been in that situation? What has happened that we haven't seen that hasn't been on camera that you have done that you didn't want anybody else to know about? Or if somebody asks you about it, you lie. Think about it. Will laughed until he looked at his wife's face. Will was looking at Chris Rock when he told the joke. He did the initial laugh thing and he looked at his wife's face. Y'all can't stop it just because Will laughed. A bunch of people laughed and Will didn't slap all of them. I'm telling you, there was something going on. I'm telling you, regardless of whether or not he laughed, and people always assume laughter is always associated with some funny shit. That's just not true. People laugh when they're uncomfortable. People laugh before they're getting ready to fight. I know I cry. If I'm crying, that means we're getting ready to go to jail. Somebody, anybody, somebody. If I'm crying, that means we're getting. And here's the thing: even if Jada had given him the dead eye, even that wouldn't make him get up if there wasn't something else. Y'all keep saying all these little insignificant things. They all build up to he still wouldn't have gotten up unless he made the decision to get up. He made the decision to get up. He saw his wife was uncomfortable and he made. And we got to stop. Here's the thing. We have to stop saying because it's jokes. He a comedian, it's just jokes. It's not just jokes to everybody. Miss Susie, now you said that. Now, how many times has somebody told a joke around you, and while you didn't say anything to them, you felt very uncomfortable, or the joke felt very, very close to home? You understand what I'm saying? And we're just people. We just regular, everyday, normal people. Just regular, smegular, degular people. But how many times has somebody told a joke that's just a joke? It wasn't funny to you. You found it slightly offensive, or it felt a little too close to home. It wasn't a funny joke. It wasn't funny. The joke wasn't funny. If it had been a funny joke, she might have laughed. You understand what I'm saying? The joke wasn't funny. You took it at my expense, and you've been told not to do that. Please stop talking about my wife. Y'all are not listening to me. Please stop talking about my wife. Please stop talking about my wife. How many times can you nicely ask somebody to do something? And it's not like Jada Pinkett Smith is the only person in the world that you can talk about. Y'all understand what I'm saying? In this particular situation, we're not talking about everybody. I'm not going about the state of Hollywood. I'm talking about three people. And from what I understand, because I can only go by the information that is out there, Chris Rock has been talking about Jada since 2006 and has been told on several occasions behind closed doors and at the back of the bus and behind the stage to stop talking about his wife. It's not like Jada Pinkett is the only person out there. There are millions of people you can talk about. There are thousands of celebrities you can talk about. Why keep fucking with one person? And since that was a joke that was not off the cuff, that wasn't a joke that wasn't a ad lib joke. That was a joke somebody wrote for him. So he practiced that joke. He didn't have to tell it. It wasn't something, oh, I saw Jada, let me make a funny haha kiki. It was a joke that was written for him. Somebody ask you, if I ask you to stop talking about my wife, especially if my wife is not the only person you can talk about and is not the only person you have talked about, but you continue to do it, clearly you have issue with me. I don't know that Will Smith would not have punched 50 Cent. For people who don't realize, Will Smith actually did all that training for Ali. So Will Smith may be a 50-some-year-old man, but he ain't no punk. So don't think that just because that was Chris Rock, he smacked him. And guess what? 50 Cent don't tell jokes. 50 Cent don't tell no jokes. So, I mean, but my thing is this, here's what I'm saying. We're making, see that everybody on both sides of this debate, we're making excuses. People make excuses. I'm making excuses for Will. And Susie, you're making excuses for Chris Rock. But at the end of the day, we don't know why. All I'm saying is we don't know why. I may be wrong. You may be wrong. We may be backing a bad horse. But I'm just talking about the dynamics of the situation. We breaking it down to not just what happened, but the separate parts of what happened. You can't dictate what a comedian said. If I tell you not to keep talking about me and you keep talking about me, clearly there's something personal with me. You can tell somebody to not talk about you, and if they keep doing it, then they want you to do something about it. Clearly, because it is not. If Jada was his sole comedy. Some people tell different kind of comedy. Every comedian has a different style and a different thing they talk about. Some people talk about themselves and their families. Some people talk about politics. Some people talk about the world around them and the situations they go in. So each comedian has a different style and a different way of doing things. If Jada Pinkett Smith was his only topic of conversation, then maybe. But since there are thousands of other people to make fun of, and if you're a comedian that makes fun of people, you don't have to keep making fun of the same person. Sometimes people hide behind jokes just to peek at you, and what he said wasn't even funny. It wasn't funny to me as well. We cannot keep making excuses that because that's somebody's job, they get to do what they want to do. Do y'all understand that the excuses on a much higher scale is the same excuse we make about police officers who shoot unarmed people? That's his job. If he would have just complied. And while it is not the same amount of destruction, we can't keep making excuses when people are doing things wrong. Stop picking with people, especially when they've expressed that it had a problem. There are thousands of celebrities out there that really don't give a shit what you say about them because it doesn't make them money. There are thousands of celebrities out there who don't give a shit how many times you call them ugly, fat, skinny, a hoe, a slut, a virgin. They don't care because it doesn't make their money. It don't take their money and it don't make their money. But when you find a celebrity that you've been talking about that explicitly asks you to stop, to please don't do it again. Please stop using me as your comedy. Come on now, that's not the same. Right, it was a lame joke, but my thing is this. What I'm saying, Susie, read this, baby. You just what? Hello. Um, I'm talking, so I don't want to keep my. I see. I don't like Chris Rock. Now understand this. Had Will been out of pocket, I would have said the same thing about Will. Just because I like somebody doesn't mean I won't call you out on the stupid shit you do. I just don't care for Chris Rock as a whole. I don't think he was funny as a comedian. I didn't watch his stuff. I don't go out of my way to watch his stuff. I don't look for him when I'm looking at something. If I see a Chris Rock comedy show on HBO, I flip past it. So he's just not my cup of tea. However, if he was right in this situation and Will was wrong, I would have no problem saying that. So he's just not, I never thought he was funny. Him, it's a few comedians I just don't think are funny. If I see them on, TV, I flip past them. But all I'm saying is this: the conversations that should be had about this should be bigger conversations in the context of what we allow and what we should allow. I'm cool with you doing your jokes. I'm cool with you having your comedy. I'm cool with all of that. However, if somebody comes up to you and they ask you, hey, stop using my wife. I'm sure there are other people. Stop using my wife. Stop bringing my wife into your comedy. Stop doing that. And you continue to do it. Then I feel like you picking, because this wasn't the first time that this particular subject had been brought to Chris Rock's attention. Had this been the first time and Will Smith had they never had an encounter out of this time, then I would have been like, nah, Will, you wrong for that shit. You should have came to that dude before. This is the first time he just said something, and you just sitting up there popping off ain't cool. If he didn't know how sensitive the subject was, you can't sit up there and hold him to that standard. However, this was not the first time that Chris Rock and Will Smith had broached this subject. So I think that after you continuously do something, that then it becomes personal. It becomes something outside of the subject. It became outside of just talking about Jada. It became outside of the fact that you don't respect me enough to even attempt to grant my wish. You're not talking about my wife. It becomes a whole different situation. Because this wasn't the first time somebody said something to him. This is not the first time somebody said something to him about his comedy and how he talks about people, especially women. There's only so many jokes you can tell. There's only so many jokes you can tell about somebody that ain't funny before you try to realize that these ain't just jokes. This is somebody working out their issues with comedy. And the fact that it's comedy, the first thing people are going to say is, it's just jokes. It ain't hurt nobody. It don't matter. But it does hurt people. Words can hurt people. And just because they don't hurt you, it doesn't mean that they won't hurt the person sitting next to you. Just because fat jokes don't always bother me doesn't mean it won't bother the fat girl sitting down from me because she doesn't have the same support system that I have. Just because the bald jokes don't bother me because I got a head full of hair, it doesn't mean it won't bother the woman sitting 3 seats over from me because that's a weave because she can't grow her hair because her hair won't go past a couple of inches. Or maybe because she's done something to her hair, processed her hair in the past, and now her hair won't grow anymore. That doesn't mean these words won't hurt somebody else. And if they were funny, then maybe. The reality is that if they were actually funny, then maybe somebody would laugh at them. Laugh at the words and not the person. See, but the joke wasn't funny enough for you to laugh at the words. That meant you had to laugh at the person. Please don't say words do not hurt. Baby, words hurt. Because words don't hurt you, saying that words don't hurt, that words hurt. Words do hurt. And it's not just me saying it, words hurt. Words carry weight. Words carry value. Maybe words don't hurt you, but words hurt. They do. They always have. Do they hurt like a fist or a slap or anything? No, they don't. But they hurt differently. If somebody slaps you on the face, once that pain from the slap is gone, the pain is gone. If somebody shoots you, once you have recovered from the bullet wound or taken enough drugs, the pain is gone. You have to deal with the trauma from the incident. But that pain, the thing that made it happen, is gone. It's done. It's gone. It's no more. It's not a slap sitting there lingering around. And if you kind of ask for the slap, you know it's gone. But words sit with you. You sit there in your quiet moments. You sit there all alone, and all you have are the words that somebody said. And now not only do you have the words that somebody said, but now you're trying to decipher what the words meant and what the words meant for you. And you're trying to figure out why the person said these words to you. And you're trying to figure out why did they say this to you. Or you're sitting up there trying to figure out what they meant. Words have so much weight that people don't think that you can say. That's why people think they can say whatever the hell they want to somebody. Now, take it from me. I come from the world of absolutely positively no political correctness. I came from a time where we said old stupid bullshit out our mouth and didn't care what people felt or what. I came from a time way before you couldn't call somebody fat to where that would be triggering. I came from a time to where yeah. But I know words hurt because I'm a child that words hurt. I know that my son would rather for me to beat his ass for an hour than for me to lecture him for 15 minutes. Hold on. All right, Susan Q, have fun. Hopefully this will die down and go away since Will has returned from the film academy. Okay. He should have the same energy for August after he put that trash song out about his wife. I ain't heard no song. First of all, let me preface this by saying I don't know who the fuck August Elena was before the thing came out with Jada. And now he should have, and I haven't heard the song. I don't know what the song is about or anything. Um, they personal business. Here's the thing: everybody's going out to like other situations. All we talking about is the smack between two people, not who else he should have smacked. Because from what I understand, I'm not 100% certain. Don't know. They had an open situation and they wasn't cheating. Now, if August is saying some old crazy bullshit, then there's no telling what Will would do to August because right now we don't know. But again, I don't know anything about. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know who the hell August Elena was, y'all. So the fact that the situation with Jada made him more popular is awesome because I don't know anything about these little children that can barely sing. I don't know nothing about these people. I have absolutely positive no knowledge of these folks. My bad. I didn't really get into the entanglement all that much. Excuse me. That is what the hell? What is that? Was it? Oh, he came out his doggy house. That was that noise. My bad, y'all. Jax has a room inside of our room, and it's got a little swingy door on it. And I guess he was in his room because he can go in and out when he feel like it. So all of a sudden he started barking, and then we heard this noise, like a ticking noise. I'm like, where to go? Wait, what? I had to stop for a minute and realize that was his the door on his thing swinging back and forth. My bad. Um, Hold on, let me see. My mom always told me you can say and do whatever you want, but you cannot gauge or something. Yes. Yeah. I can't we can sit up here and say, how many times have you said, now think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm gonna smack the shit out of that bitch next time I see her. And guess what you didn't do? Smack the shit out of nobody. Or I'm gonna cuss them motherfucker out when I see them. You didn't do nothing. Because when you mad with somebody and you can't bring to fruition what you want to do in that moment, time will give you an opportunity to do something else. So no, nobody knows what we'll do in any given moment because what we'll do today might not be what we do 30 minutes from now. What I do right now might not be what I do later on tonight. And I especially can't tell nobody else how to feel about something. Like what I'm talking about now, I don't expect my experience and my words to change anybody. And that's not what I'm looking to do. I think that we should have a dialogue and I think that we should be able to talk about these things. Um, Openly and honestly and just agree to disagree if we don't come to a meeting of the minds. I think that we should talk about what I'm trying to say. We should use this, but then talk about the ramifications. I'm not just talking about Will. I'm just talking about the things that are going on now after that. I don't understand why everybody's so mad. Could somebody tell me why everybody hates Jada? Because I don't know. I really don't. I was trying to be funny. I don't know why. And I read the little guy. I used to read the little gossip magazines. I used to read the Inquirer and the Star magazine. Anybody who ain't old enough to know what I'm talking about, I feel very old if you act like you don't know the hell I'm talking about. I used to read the Little People magazine. I even got a Little People magazine on my Kindle. Every now and again, I'll flippity dip through there and see what they talking about. I don't know half of the stuff they talking about because I don't listen to music like that. I hear a song, I want to hear it again. I put it on. I go to YouTube. I put that person's name in, and I click, and I listen to it. I don't. I realize I've gotten super older because I listen to stuff, you know. But I don't understand because somebody tell me. Can somebody tell me why we hate Jada? I like Jada Pinkett. I never had a problem with her. I always thought I liked the fact that she was open and honest about her sexuality. I like the fact that she didn't just get stuck in a specific black woman category, that she was doing hard rock. I liked her activism. I didn't want to sleep with her data. So her personal life and how she got down in the bed was irrelevant to me. I didn't care whether or not she was a cheater or not, because that would never affect me. So I don't see. Here's the thing. Maybe that's just me. Maybe a person's sexuality, I don't care about that. I don't care about whether or not you're monogamous or polyamorous. I don't care whether or not you're loyal or a cheater. I don't care whether or not you're gay or straight. I don't care about any of these things because they don't affect me. Somebody's sexuality doesn't affect me. I do like it when somebody has the ability to talk about their sexuality, is open with it, and is not prudish about it, because I think that we get caught up in it. If we don't tell our children about certain things, that means they won't do them. The reality is, if we don't talk openly and honestly about subjects that we think are too much for our kids, they're going to do that with other kids or people who don't care about them the way that we do. So I like anybody who's open about that, because then you have a dialogue. I like any of that. But I don't understand the other stuff. I don't understand why we hate Jada. I don't know why we do that. Yeah, Miss Tell the Truth. Um, I don't know if she broke Will. Will looks like he got all four legs and his head's still on top of him. I mean, he still got both arms, not four legs. I mean, two legs and two arms. He seemed to do a very good George Jefferson impersonation up on the stage Sunday. So what's this? PSP, I understand what you're saying, but here's what I'm saying. Nobody can break somebody. Nobody can break a grown ass man. Will is where he wants to be. Now, if we as society don't like the way he is now for what we see, because we don't know what Will Smith is doing, not for real. The reality is we don't know what any of these people are doing, not for real. It's only the few snippets that we are allowed to see for whatever reason. And we see certain things, but we don't know reality. We don't know what the reality is because we're only allowed to see what we're allowed to see. But I don't think he's broken. I think that people don't like Jada, and the fact that he loves Jada means that it's a bad thing. What you're saying that you're saying when you're saying broken BSP, you're saying she made him less manly. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think she can make him less of a man. You're not talking about him being broken as a person, him being a person that is just so broken that he didn't know what he was doing. So taking up for his wife was a bad thing. You're talking about Jada making Will less of a man when you say broken. That's what you mean. That's the context I'm taking it in. You can't make somebody less of a man. They're going to be the man that they are. Period, point blank. A woman cannot make a man less of a man. No, a man cannot make me less of a woman. Now he can break me, but that doesn't mean I'm out and down. I said words hurt. And they do hurt. I don't know why that's a discussion. I mean, this is just not something that I've said. I'm not the first person in the whole world to say that words hurt. And I ain't the first person to do it today. All I'm saying is, you're not giving me a reason as to why people hate Jada? That was the question I asked. Will has went on and made movies and songs and produced a whole show since that whole entanglement situation. Where did you see a broken man, BSP, without Jada? Take Jada out of the mix, take Jada out of the context. Where did you see a man that was so broken that he couldn't go on? Because since that entanglement, he has did several things. Since that situation with Jada, he has did several things. He has still been out in the public. He's still been meeting and greeting. He has still been taking care of his business. He is not walled up in his house and not speaking to people. He hadn't become a hermit. He got a smile on his face. He ain't always sitting up there looking like he want to fight somebody. So where do you see him broken at? Where do you see him broken at, BSP? Just tell me. Without the context of Jada making him less than a man, where is he broken? Why do you say that he's broken? Marquita, before all this info came out, Red Table, many looked at Will and Jada as a power couple. People failed to understand that Will and Jada are human and do the same things they do. This is true. This is very true. We keep forgetting that those are just two people, and people make mistakes. People get hot-headed and do shit they may not have did 20 minutes from now. Words that they could take now, they may not be able to take later on tonight. These are not extraterrestrial beings. These are not deities. These are regular people, regular smuggler people who just happen to be famous. They don't stop being people because they're famous. Yes, they don't stop having feelings and emotions. They don't stop getting upset. They don't stop getting sad. They don't stop getting happy. They don't stop getting pissed off. But because they are who they are, they have to check how they do it. They have to always watch what they're doing and saying, always looking over your shoulder. And can you imagine how tiring that gets? To always have to look over your shoulder, to always have to be on 100, to always have to be camera ready, to always have to be perfect. Because if you're not always perfect, then this will happen. Right now, Bad Boys for Life is getting ready to come on FX. And guess what I'm going to do? While bingo going on, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch Mike Lowry. I said it. Will is in the public eye constantly, but that one smack means he's fragile. That means he had enough. My question is, okay. Here's my question. Had that happened on the street in front of the Oscars? Had that happened, had Chris been over there in a circle of friends in front, would it have been different? Here's my question. And be honest. Don't just be saying it because you want to be right. Be honest. Would it have been different if Will and Jada and a group of people were standing out in front of the Oscars and the cameras were taking pictures and doing videos and Chris was trying out his jokes on Will and Jada and Chris said that shit and Will hauled off and slapped him outside of the Oscars before they went in or after they left out, would it have been different? Would y'all have a different take on the situation? Or was it because of where it happened? I want honesty. I'm getting ready to get off here in a couple minutes because you know it's Friday night, bingo time. I'm gonna get off here at 8 o'clock in 8 minutes. But would it have been different? And let's be honest about that. Would it have been different? Would we still be having all these conversations? Oh shit! Can you still hear me, baby? Do me a favor. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Is that Billy? Yeah. But here's my question again. I say to y'all, Would it have been different if it had taken place in a different place? On the same night, at the same event, but not, huh? Okay, but not on the stage. Would y'all have felt differently about what happened? If you had all the information, if all the stuff, we still knew that Chris been talking about Jada, and he told his old ragged ass joke. Will found it offensive, found this at this time offensive, and smacked him in the face. Would y'all have still have felt the same way? Would y'all have still had that same energy had it happened outside in front of the paparazzi, which is still worldwide stage? Would y'all have had that exact same energy? That's all I'm wondering. Hi, you. That's all I'm wondering. Oh shit! Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. For some reason, Jax has been on me all day, so Billy cannot even sniff around me. It's unacceptable. Well, you don't match words with hands. You can't say what somebody else does, and you can't say that you're correct in that situation. Because maybe nobody has came to you, BSP. Maybe nobody has came to you and made you feel some kind of way with their words. Maybe nobody has said something about somebody you love enough to where you feel like you got to come out of pocket. So you wouldn't do that. But you can't say across the board that nobody ever should do that. And if they do it, that is totally just wrong, and violence is never the answer. Because that's basically, well, okay, if violence never the answer for this, then violence is never the answer for anything. Violence is never the answer for anything. Do I condone violence? No, because I know, let me tell you what I know for a fact. There's no such thing as play fighting. That if you and two people are sitting up there fighting and talk about we play fighting, it can and most normally does turn into something very not playful. I think that if you're gonna be about it, be about it. I think that if you can say the words, you need to be able to take the ass whooping. Because even Chris Rock said in one of his shows, one of the few things that I actually laughed at a little bit, ain't nobody above an ass whooping. Now those words are only cool when you using them. This is not across the board, because what's good for me is not good for somebody else. What's good for you is not good for somebody else. We can't sit up there and say, we can't put how we would act on a situation, how somebody else would act on a situation, because number one, it's unfair. I can't put how I would do stuff onto you, Best P, because that would be unfair to you. And that is very admirable, BSP. A lot of us choose to walk away. I have chosen to walk away. But I'm not saying with 100% certainty that I will always choose to walk away. You cannot say with 100% certainty what you would do in any given situation, especially if you've not been presented with that particular situation. And you don't know what one day might set you off. So I don't say with any 100% certainty that I wouldn't be pushed to do anything. The smallest to the biggest thing. I don't know what I would do with somebody if they, like I said, kept coming to my wife. I can't sit up here and tell you I won't take a life for somebody in my family. I can't sit up here and tell you that. Would I just go around shooting people like a serial killer? No. But to save myself, show I hope I would. I hope I would value me. But I can't say that. because that situation is not presented to me. So I can't tell you what I would do to a future situation because I ain't did it yet. I can only tell you what I have done. Sometimes I've taken the words and let them ride. Sometimes I've cussed the motherfucker out. And sometimes the only thing that kept me from doing something to you was you because you didn't come in my face no more. And I was at work. It's days where I used to be a bartender. It's days where I could hear all kind of shit being talked. Racist shit, homophobic shit, sexist shit. I hear it all day long. Sissies, faggots, gays, nigga this, nigga that. Women shouldn't do this, women shouldn't all day long, and I suck it up. But then it's one day I had to ask them who they talking about. So I don't know. I don't know what I do to a future situation. I know what I have done, and I will know what I try not to do. But I can't tell you with 100% certainty what I will do. You have been in situations that are a lot worse than Jada for you, not for Jada. I can't say that I have been in a lot. I can't say that my situations are worse than yours, BSP, because you and I have I don't know you like that. I don't know what you've been through in your life. I can't assume that my hurt and pain is more than yours because I don't know you like that, because I wasn't there when it happened. Because you and I could have been through the same situation, but how we handle it and the support system we had or did not have could affect the outcome. So I don't know what I'm doing. So I can't say for certain anything. I know I don't discount any situation you've been in, this BSP. I don't discount any tragedy or any trauma you have. And I'm not gonna sit up here and say that my shit is worse than yours because I don't know. But I'm never gonna do that to anybody. All I can say is if I sympathize with you or care about you at all I can say is I'm sorry. And I hope that you heal. If you need somebody to talk to, if you just want to sit there and be sad, cool, let's do that. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I done been through worse shit, so you should be able to take whatever somebody throw at you. That ain't cool. That's not cool. You can't say because it's a lot of people who've been through exponentially worse times than I have. It's a lot of people that don't have anything. And while I think my situation may be bad, it's bad for me. It may be a walk in the park for them. What is awful for me, somebody may do on a random Tuesday. What is a random Tuesday for me may be somebody's worst day. I don't know. Like I said, I see both situations. I can't fault Will for taking up for his wife. I can't fault him for that moment of discourse, chaos to take over him and cause him to do something that if he'd taken a moment, he might not have done. I can't sit up there and say that. I can't sit up there and say what was wrong for him. I can't sit up there and say that Chris Rock won't feel the effects of this. Not just the slap, but everything that comes with it. Because everybody's not going to be on Chris' side just because he's the one that got slapped. So he is going to bear some weight. What I'm saying is when we sit up here and talk about these situations, and we sit up here and give our 2 cents on these situations, constantly saying what we would do is kind of irrelevant. Because what we would do is not what the next person would do. And BSP, what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is this, is that when he did what he made peace with the situation at hand at that moment. And regardless of whether or not in our estimation he was right or wrong, in his estimation he was right in what he was doing. Should he have thought about it for a second and maybe not slapped him right there? Sure. But like my son said, he said, it's not just about smacking Will. I mean, Chris, it's about the ramifications in Will's life that he did, excuse me, that he didn't take into consideration. But like I said, I can't know why he did what he did. And I can't say that I wouldn't do the same given the situation at hand if I felt that way. But I would have to deal with the consequences. And now he's dealing with the consequences. But was it the most violent thing I've ever seen? No, hell, it wasn't the most violent thing I've seen that hour. Was it the worst thing ever in the world? No, it wasn't the worst thing ever, period. It was a smack on the face on the nationwide TV, and everybody gonna pay for it in some way. Either somebody gonna get paid for it or they gonna pay for it. And realistically, it does not affect me. But because this is our platform, we're gonna use this platform and we're gonna talk and do our thing. But at the end of the day, points I was trying to make is coming from this situation. We need to understand that we never know what people are going through. We never know what kind of day somebody's having. We never know what kind of hell minute somebody's having. We don't know how much we can take or how much we can hold on to before it's too much. And don't forget, you wouldn't want the same consideration if something happened to you. You would want the same consideration if in a moment of weakness you snapped. That's all I'm saying. Hold on. Okay. I had to get back to the check. Okay. I'm getting ready to get off here, y'all. I've been on here a good hot minute. I don't know how many minutes, but I've been on here 10 minutes. And what was I about to say? Thank you. Thank you for the dialogue. Thank you for the back and forth. Thank you, BSP. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the dialogue. I want to thank everybody who came out today. I want to thank. Hold on. I am not. I didn't say that Chris Rock was humiliated and he had to deal with it. He got to deal with that situation, and I feel bad for the humiliation. I do, because that shit's hard to get away from. And the court of public opinion. I feel bad for everybody in this situation because of this momentary lapse in judgment. A lot of people are going to have to redecorate their lives because this lapse in judgment. A lot of people are going to have to redecorate those lives, but they'll redecorate them and go on about their business. Um, Again, thank you, BSP. I appreciate it. I appreciate the back and forth. I appreciate the debate. Because, like I said, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I will be on here to 10. I will not change anybody's mind. If we talk about things, then we get to know each other and we get to change situations. And I'm changing for the better, not for the worse. So again, thank you everybody for hanging out. Everybody, y'all might want to get them fingers warmed up, get them things, because bingo is about to start when I get up off here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the not monitors, the moderators. I want to thank everybody who came in. Susie Q, I want to thank you for your opposing view on my debate. I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody else. I want to thank everybody who agreed with me because y'all a bit. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate everybody who came in. I appreciate the talking. Thank you, BSP. Yes, it was. All right. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Bingo will be starting soon. So to everybody who's going to bingo, I will see you there. To everybody, we got an interview tomorrow, I want to believe. So we'll let you know what's going on. So I love you guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great, great Friday. Go out, have some fun, get some drinks, watch some movies. You know what I'm saying? Do you? I love you guys. I love you, Mom Squad. I appreciate y'all. And y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.